But he had I won't say it was a great throw home because it bounced a couple of times. I heard after the game, I think it was Todd Zalecki asked the question of Joe Girardi, saying that the throw home was actually clocked at one point at 100 miles per hour. It bounced a couple of times home, but I don't give a damn. It was accurate as hell. He threw the ball into a trash can like the old Tom Amensky videos that helped win back-to-back AAU championships. You know what I'm saying if you get the reference. But Roman Quinn did make a very good throw home. Bottom line is it kept the game scoreless. Rhys Hoskins stepped to the plate, cleared the bases. Bases were loaded in the third inning, or excuse me, in the second inning. Made it a 3-0 game by clearing the bases with an RBI, with a 3-run double, that is. Then the Braves. I don't know what the Braves were doing in their outfield yesterday. You have Contreras in left, who looked lost the entire game. You have Duvall in center that gave you the definition of lollygagging after a ball hit by Roman Quinn that we'll get to, but it was a very odd outfield play. Some very odd outfield play. Guys looked out of place. For a team that's usually, what I always think of with the Atlanta Braves, fundamentally sound, that went out the window yesterday. Now, Contreras is not a normal left fielder. He's a catcher by trade. So that wasn't exactly, it looked like his first start in left. Let's just put it that way. It looked appropriate. But he goes out there. He allows the run to score in the third. Roman Quinn then comes up with the RBI double in the third as well when the Phillies were batting, and was able to somehow plate Camargo, who got his World Series ring yesterday, by the way, by the Braves. Congratulations to Camargo. Had an incredible slide home where he avoided the tag, one that the Braves didn't even feel like they had to challenge because they knew what was what. Some fine hand placement by Camargo on the head first slide home. Kids, if you're going to slide head first, never slide in the home head first. Unless you're Camargo and you know what you're doing. Gene Segura had another RBI for himself, which was nice. 9 strikeouts through 4 innings of work for Zach Wheeler. He ended up with 10, going 6 2/3, allowing 2 runs to score. Roman Quinn did have that little misplay. I believe it was in the 7th inning of yesterday's ball game. Excuse me, in the 5th inning of yesterday's ball game, where he slipped, allowing Austin Riley, I believe it was, to get into second base on what would have been a single. Riley ends up scoring later in the inning. And yes, the bullpen did make you think at times between Brogdon and most notably Jarius Familia that the floodgates were going to open. Fortunately, they did not, and the Phillies were able to hold on to the win. But by the close of the 4th inning, the Phillies were up 7-0, which was great to see. All around, a fine performance by the Phillies bats and the Phillies starting pitching. Because the number one thing we've been crying about this season, screaming from the rooftops about, from the mountaintops, is about consistency of this offense and giving this starting staff some run support. And yesterday, Phillies getting a 7-3 victory. They gave their starting staff some run support. No better example for the Phillies yesterday than what they were able to do with Rhys Hoskins at the dish, getting 3 RBIs. And like I said, JT Realmuto coming up with a 2-hit game. Alec Boehm also had a 2-hit performance as well. So you had some clutch hitting, especially with the nice hit you got from Roman Quinn, an unlikely source. Roman Quinn was able to drive in a couple of runs for you yesterday as well with that double to right center field on the lollygag play by Duvall. But when it comes to this Phillies offense, it does leave you wondering if they're going to be able to come out and give you consistency and give another good performance today against the Braves and at least lock up a series split, which would be nice. Now, winning the series, of course, would be better. A sweep is something we can dream about, but it's still alive because you won game 1. But I thought this was interesting. After the game yesterday, Joe Girardi's doing his post-game interview, and I always enjoy the road interviews because you're not at a nice desk, a nice podium, you know what I'm saying? You're always in it looks like some shack of an office. But Joe Girardi's sitting in there, and he's getting asked about the inconsistency of this Phillies offense and what it's like to break out of a little bit of a offensive slump, an offensive funk the Phillies have been in. And Joe Girardi says basically it can be a nightmare.
Sometimes it reminds me of some of my old teammates where they talk about how they'd sit up in bed at night and scream and then lay down and go back to bed, right? I mean, hitting is a nightmare. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's a battle and it's a fight, and sometimes you're going good, sometimes you're not, and you don't understand why, and you feel the same. And it's just, you got to just keep grinding, and that's all, and working, and that's all you can do.
And that's what the Phillies did yesterday.